welcome to another interview with a woman who dared to follow her passion. And today I am so happy to introduce you to Thirajane Aurora. She is a modern priestess, she's a storyteller and an intuitive. And she has her own accountant firm and also works as a coach mentor. And she's actually out with a book now that has been an ebook for a couple of years, but is now out in physical form. And it's about the 12 Holy Nights of Christmas. And Thirajane will probably speak a bit about that later. But first of all, Thirajane, I would love to hear your journey. How has it been for you to become an entrepreneur? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I can. My travel or my way to being a solopreneur or entrepreneur actually has kind of two steps. The first one was a kind of a longing. Way before I started as a solopreneur, I had this longing after being it, with no knowledge about with what I wanted to work with. Even though I've been working as an accountant for like, I think 15, 20 years of that time. That wasn't my dream to start as a solopreneur within accounting, but I always had this kind of longing for doing it. So I was attending different conferences and things where they presented ideas about it. So it was kind of something that grew inside of me that I wanted to be at, but without knowing how or what I wanted to be. And then my travel was that I actually had a stress breakdown when I was working as an accountant in another firm. And then I was trying to find a way to get back into the working environment. And my way was actually to start up as a solopreneur within the accountancy, because that was something I knew. And that was something that actually made me able to work around my difficulties with the stress. And that is 9 years ago now. No, 8 years ago now. That was in 2011 I started my company. And then afterwards, when I was that was running, and that was kind of paying my daily bills, I was beginning to think, okay, what is it I really want to do?
Yeah.
And then I decided that this mentoring and coaching business that I was trained already as a coach back in 2005, and worked side by side with the company, the accountancy company. But then I wanted to start my own business as well as a coach. So I did that 5 years ago, I think. I'm not sure, did I answer your question?
Yeah, of course.
So that's kind of my way to becoming it. It was both a wish and a dream, but also a need, kind of. When I started my first business, it was a way of finding a way to be able to earn my own money without being forced into some kind of job that I couldn't handle at that time.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just very curious to know, modern priestess. Can you explain that? What kind of work is it?
Yeah, it's not a paid work. It's more a volunteer work, but it's a way of working with nature spirituality and spiritual science. So it's both the heart and the mind. And I work a lot with rituals in nature. I work a lot with, for example, crystal grits. Grits is a kind of mandala you make in nature with crystals. Mm-hmm. Like energy patterns you make in the nature. I have a garden myself, for example, and I prefer to work with the nature spirits to create the most what do you call it? The best environment for all, both human, animals, and plants. So modern priestess is kind of everything between, yeah, earth and heaven,
Yeah.
or heaven and earth. But it kind of take basis in the earth, because it's so important that we take care of this environment that we live in. So it's a huge love for all that is living.
Wow.
That's probably the most precise way. So my work is included in this huge love for everything that is alive.
That's so beautiful. um, and what about courage? How do you find your everyday courage to keep on with your work? What does it require of you? And what does this journey require of courage for you?
It has required a lot of courage, because I don't come from a background where I'm kind of supported in this kind of business. So this has been a journey for me where I've had to find my inner certainty, and it has been like step by step by step. It hasn't been like I had the courage with me, but I have had to find the courage every day to every step I have taken. But one of the ways that I have found it has been, for example, surrounding myself with people that supports me in what I want to be and what I want to do. And it's actually, I think that's one of the most important things, to surround yourself with people that see you as the one you want to be, not the one you were or you are. Only because you need someone who allow you to expand, and who like kind of applaud you when you expand. And that's really important, I think. And then I have worked with myself. I have looked into what is kind of stopping me when I have been, for example, the book project. I don't have the voice anymore, but when I was younger, I had this: who am I to do this and this? Yes. And there's in the beginning there was a little bit of that in the book. Who am I to publish a book? Who am I to call myself an author? Who am I to, and I'm always going to swear, but away with that one. I don't want to listen to that voice anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to that voice anymore. And that has been,
instead, perhaps say, who am I not to do this?
Yeah. But that's become my new kind of mantra, or not new, but then the last couple of years is I cannot allow not to give my message out to the world, because I've been born. That's my belief, that I've been born with this desire, this longing to say or do something, and I believe that we all have that in some kind of way. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be kind of, for some it's not feeding. I forgot the word. Sorry, but giving, having a child and kind of helping that child deliver that child. And for me, I've had this knowledge about some things that I knew I wanted to give to the world, but I was, I had all these limitations, and like, no, who am I? As I said, that was an old one, and yeah. But suddenly, a couple of years ago, I was like, I cannot allow myself not to do this, because this is my job. This is what I said yes to. So that's why so it's kind of it's not that I don't need courage still. It's more that I have a kind of, I have to do this. So because of that, I find a way to work around my obstacles. And one of them is to, as I said, to surround myself with people that believe in me and that speaks me up, that talks up. I don't know if it's the correct English saying, but kind of uplift you, or uplift me, and I do the same with them as well.
Exactly.
And having my own, as well as I work as a mentor, I have my own mentors who helps me and is a bit further than I am, but being that they can help me step up. So that's been important for me.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And also, I've actually been working with, I've used, but it's different from everyone. So I don't want to go out and say you should do this or this. I think everyone should use their own tools, because there's so many tools in the work to work with your own limitations. But for me personally, I have used this technique called emotional frequency technique, EFT. And that's worked really good for me. And then there's I don't know if it's in English, but there's a Danish kind of method called Soul Flow. That's also helped me a lot. I work with. So
can you explain a bit about that?
Which one of them?
EFT first, maybe.
Yeah, but EFT, I think in Danish it's called TFT, but in English it's called EFT, and it's a way of you're tapping on your energy, I don't know, meridian, I think, and then you're saying something. There's a lot of places, but it's a way of kind of I don't know the techniques of it. I'm not educated within it, but it works for me, and it's done wonder for me. And the other one, the Soul Flow technique, is a kind of guidance, an inner guidance, where there's a Soul Flow guide sits with you, and then you come with this issue you want to look on, and then you're guided within yourself to figure out where does this originate from, and then in that way you can kind of see it as it is, and see if it's really a useful kind of. It's usually it's a experience that is kind of stuck in that time, linear time where it happened, and then it kind of replaces itself within you. So during this technique, you can get help to kind of move it up to date and then release it. Very, very short. It's not really.
I understand. It's kind of a healing therapy. Technique. Yeah.
But it works for me.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
It goes deep, I think. Those kind of techniques. And I just lastly, would you like to say something about the book that you have out now, physically?
I can show it to you as well. You probably can't read it, but as you said before, it's called, I said in English, Inspiration for the 12 Holy Nights Before and After Christmas. And it's actually a working tool. I'm going to put it down again because I can't see you. It's a working tool for creating a more deeper and inner kind of Christmas feeling of Christmas. It's actually a working tool I found because I needed to find something more deep in the Christmas rather than the gifts and Christmas trees and all these seeing people. I wanted to find what is it that Christmas really is. And then I found these thought seeds and I worked with them for a couple of years, and then back in 2016 I sat with them and I got these inspirations for one of them, for each of them, and I wrote them down. And then in 2017 they came out as an ebook, and the same last year as well. And I think there's around 900 people who has the ebook now. And so that's quite a large audience. And I also have this news mail where every year I do this travel where people get the thought seeds in their email. It looks like I'm freezing.
Yeah. There you're back. But I heard you, so I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That was not the most nice way to see it, but whatever. Yeah, but anyway, this is my first published book, and it actually took a lot of courage to say, no, I'm gonna print it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm doing it.
And where can we buy it, Thirajane?
Yeah, for now, it's you can pre-order it with me, and you can see more about that on my website, which is www.Thirajane, THRIRAJANE.dk. Or maybe you could put it in the intro or something, my website.
I will do that.
That's probably easier.
So it's just a click, and
and then they can read more about how to do that.
Yeah.
And then in the beginning of December, I don't know when, but then it will be available on the Danish bookshops websites as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
and I'm looking forward to receive it. So I've already ordered it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I will wish you a Merry Christmas. How do you say it in your words? How would you say it, like using the language of the Holy Night?
Oh, the Holy Night. I don't know. It will be the same.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
There's no difference.
Okay.
very especially if not going to read this book, then especially the night between the 24th and the 25th of December is actually, there's a really intense and beautiful energy around midnight. So if you get the possibility, then try to sit still and just feel the energy around 12 o'clock. Christmas night. Most countries have the Christmases the 25th, but we in Denmark at least has it on the 24th. So, but try to. There's a really special energy between those 2 days around 12 o'clock at night. Yeah.
I will do that for sure.
Yeah, but thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Thirajane.
Yeah, thank you, Marit.
Bye.
Bye-bye.